Right, I wasn't going to do this, so let's get it stripped down and try and make this a little bit less of an absolute nightmare. Electrician genius by doing that, I know. You guys need to see this. Oh, it's just so annoying. It's just stupid, really, really stupid, and it does my nut in. So hi guys, welcome to the channel, and today I'm going to be getting on with swapping out that consumer unit, which is a 17th edition consumer unit, and we're going to be putting it in for a new and improved BG Fortress board. So I fitted a few of these recently, and I thought I would share with you the new improvements on them and how good they actually are. So for this board, the reason why we're changing it is because we've done a full bathroom upgrade, renovated their bedroom, and a general checkout of the house. Now, the customer's requested to change this board because he feels that it's time to upgrade it, because there's been some more alterations that is coming up in the future. So let's go through the board. So as we can see, it's a plastic consumer unit that we've got here. So we've got the main switch, RCD, and obviously two MCBs here, another RCD, and then a load of another MCBs. Now you can see over the time we've had a few little bits and bobs altered in here. It is a garage, so we've got our meter tails on show, which come through because the cupboard is literally just there. So it's time for an upgrade. There is not really much more we can do with this board, and it is time to get the new one fitted. So before we do any consumer unit changes here at the GHC, it's always a good idea to do your earth leakage test before you do absolutely anything, because if you have got a fault to earth, which is highly unlikely in here because you've got the RCDs on already, but there's nothing to say that this RCD is not sticking. So obviously if it's sticking, it's going to stay in and it's not going to flag up a fault. So what you need to do is get yourself a earth leakage tester. I'm struggling with the words today. And do round, so you clamp around both of your meter tails coming in, and that should give you your result. And this will tell me another way whether I've got an earth leakage. If I have, then the time is to stop and try and diagnose which circuit that actually is happening to. And also, you're not going to get caught out for if you're fitting the board, because if you have got a massive earth leakage over 30 milliamps, it is going to trip out constantly and you're not going to get your job done, and it's going to be a very, very long day. So let's have a look at what earth leakage we've got. So we have got 9.67 milliamps on the old earth leakage, which means it's absolutely fantastic. We are good to go. So let's take the board off. Let's have a little look inside and see what potential nightmare it is. Bird's nest and all that. Or it might be absolutely delicious and we can just crack on with the job. So let's take that off, label all the cables up and strip out, and yeah, have a look at the new BG Fortress. So before we go any further, if you are new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do. This is where the channel is, we try and share hints, tips, all those sorts of features. So if you are new into the industry and you're just being nosy and you're another sparkie and you just want to go, oh, how's he doing that? Brilliant. Not a problem. Let's join the community. Make sure you subscribe. Link is in the corner, and leave your comments below as usual. Right, I wasn't going to do this. I've just opened the meter cupboard, and I think you guys need to see this, because obviously we fit a lot of EV chargers, right? And I said in a previous video, literally there's a neighbour across the road and there was another sparkie working there, and he said, and he recognised me from YouTube and whatnot, and he was like, oh Mike, I've got something to show you this, right? And he showed me an EV charger that has been installed by a national company that had actually set on fire because of really poor installation. So, you know, it's great because people, like I say, building the community is fantastic, because I really, really do like it. I think it's brilliant. I think it raises the industry, not lowers it. But on the same score, nothing to do with this sparkie, because obviously he actually sorted that and it's fantastic and he's done a great job. Because he cares about his job as well. And we're competing against these national companies fitting these EV chargers. Well, there's been an EV charger installed here, and I've just opened up the meter cupboard, and do you know what? I'm just going to show you, because it just does my head in, really. And these are the morons that you're competing against. So yeah, let's go outside and have a look. So as we can see, we've got a pod point installed here. Fine, not a problem. Yeah, not a problem. So install all the way across. So I've just opened up the meter cupboard. Check the state of this out. So that is not secured other than via a zip tie. The consumer units that they're fitted isn't actually secured other than there's a screw at the back there. So it's not even fixed back, let alone the fact that that is inside the meter cupboard, which it shouldn't be. Oh, it's just absolute garbage. And this is what is this my problem now? Have I got to sort this out for free? I just think it's just absolute, it's just so annoying. It's just stupid, really, really stupid. And it does my nut in. So I'm now gonna have to speak to the customer and figure out what they want me to do with it. So this has become my problem, I'm guessing. And I dare say that when I take the cover off on that it's gonna be just as delicious inside. So to remedy that, right, my proposal be to the client is get rid of all that garbage that's in there and just redo it. Redo it back into the new board. It'll be nice and neat, all up to date. It'll have surge protection on it and it'll be the right job. Now their AV car that they've got is a very, very nice car. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to ring them now and figure out what's the best course of action. But it just does my head in, really does my head in. And it ain't fair, is it? Because these Muppets all get paid, they're gone, no one cares. It's working, my EV charger working. Right, okay, it's kind of making sense now. So this board originally was a 16th edition board, and then somebody's decided to shove in another RCD. Hence the reason why you've got a big chunk drilled out of the actual board itself here. I thought it didn't make sense. It didn't really look right, but you know, it is what it is. So obviously it's all dead, but this is how it's been left. So this is the standard of what we're working to. So nothing's clipped on. Genuinely haven't touched any of these. And this is what I'm working with. Oh, main switches. I mean, let's be fair. Let's be right. Oh, lovely. We've got a pinched cable here. So that's all pinched in because it's not designed to be made into this. Fantastic. And I've also got no indication. Oh, it's all right. I figured it. They only had some switch wire for the bell line, so then they've just used that. Didn't indicate it, but hey. Oh, do you know what? It just gets better and better. Right, like I say, you could be a right fussy git, which I can be. Granted, I can be, but look at that. Look at the state of that. So here we go. Nice, nice. That's probably because it's not designed for this. It's not designed to be done this way. Oh, lovely. Yeah, they just shoehorn it. Oh, it's all right. We'll do it there too. Why not? When in Rome, eh? We might as well crack on. What an absolute shower of you know what. I'm now going to have to sort all the additional stuff out, which is great before we really get started. So let's get it stripped down, and because at the end of the day, it's got to be done. So let's get it stripped down and try and make this a little bit less of an absolute nightmare. we're now going to look at the new and improved BG Fortress. So obviously I like to fit a board that's obviously much bigger than what the property actually needs right now, because you need to allow for growth, because if you don't, you are really going to get yourself into a bit of a bind. You need to be able to allow, obviously, hence the reason like now, if that EV charger then turns out to be yes a goer and we need to just rewire that, which isn't, you know, the end of the world, but if you'd only just got enough to do the job, it ain't going to look very good on you, is it? It's going to look very, very short-sighted. So this is I think it's a 19 way. Yes, 19 usable ways. And let's open it up, and I'm going to go through some of the actual improvements, what they've made. So all the boards that we're fitting have got surge protection at source, and the new Fortress board. So inside here has got the single SPD module. So you no longer have the additional 32 amp MCB to power it all up. Let's take the front off and show you what you get inside the pack. So cover off. So inside here you get a tails clamp that comes as standard. So you can see on there you've got a tails clamp. They give you a DIN rail blank as well, because that's something else that they've brought out, which is a new and improved. So you've got your DIN rail blanks, which are fantastic. Now, one of the other sort of complaints that people had before on these were that you just had an exposed buzz bar, how it was before. So you just had your buzz bar, which is that, just in case you don't know what it is. And obviously when the cover was off, all this was all exposed. So BG, which, like I say, they're brilliant in fairness, because they do listen to the feedback, and they've now gone back to giving you a buzz bar cover as well. So obviously when you take the lid off, that's all covered as well. And then when you top that up with the DIN rail blanks, it's brilliant because everything is covered. You also get a couple of other little like entry points as well, but also one of the cool little features, you get a little magnet that's a lid stand, which you'll see towards the end of the video, which holds obviously the lid up. So when you're labelling up and all the rest of it, it just, you know, it's little touches, isn't it? Little touches. The other really impressive thing, which I really like on these, is they've increased the cable entry points now. So we've now got cable entry points at the bottom and the top, some different ones on the side, I believe, and multiple across the top. So it does cover you on all angles. So what I really like about obviously the ones that pressed out on the bottom, so if you're obviously if the house allows you to do that, you can then hide, if you use the DIN rail knockouts at the bottom, you can then hide all your cable entries, and for a really, really slick install. Don't think it's going to happen on this one because I've got limited access and cable length, so the likelihood is that they're going to be coming through the top. One of the other little features that you can now get as an accessory is actually a standoff kit. So in those, so this is what you get in your standoff kit. They're wicked because they've got magnets on the back of them. So essentially what you'll have is you've got your markings on here for your normal mounting points. They're already recessed on there, and they stick on just like that. So they don't fall off, they don't move about. Obviously when you put your fixings in, it's all nice and secure, and all matches the colours nicely as well for the actual board. It's just a much better finish, isn't it? So get those up, job's a good one. So if you haven't tried one of these, I highly recommend that you give it a whirl. They are one of the most inexpensive boards, but what you're getting for your quality, what you're paying, is second to none. So yeah, if you haven't tried one, and I'm going to tell you this now, they are nothing like the old school BG boards. The improvements are so far apart from where they used to be. So yeah, you just try one, right? Do me a favour, just try one board. Let me know in the comments. If you think I'm an idiot, then let me know. But I don't think you'll be disappointed. Right, Anyway, enough waffling, let's get this mounted up. Okay, so we've got our board mounted up now. We've got our clamping for the meter tails, because I always liked, as a general rule, of replacing the actual meter tails anyway. So I always put like the flexi tails in, just find them a little bit easier. They're all completely identified of obviously what they actually do. And obviously a new 16mm earth as well. I always try and just make that sort of a standard practice for us here at the old GHC. So we've mounted it all up. We've got our standoff kit fitted. As you might see at the back of here, we always use our own edging strip. Now, obviously the manufacturer and BG obviously send out, all the different manufacturers send out their own, but I find this one, you can get it from an online retail that delivers the next day. And I just find that you can really put that on and it's a lot stronger than all manufacturers' ones, in fairness. So what I'm now going to start doing is getting all my earths away, finding out, because obviously as you saw at the start of the video, some of the actual cables have all got like, so 132 amp had 3 lots of cables in it. I'm guessing that one of them might be a garage circuit in here. That's what tends to happen. So I need to find out what actually does what, and then get all the earths away. And then once I've done that, then I get all my RCBOs in, and then just work our way through. So what you will notice, obviously in the video, you'll see me using my screw gun. Now the torque setting is right down to the point where it's next to nothing. It's just use that for speed, and what we then do at the end of the job, basically once it's all tested up, we go around with our torque screwdriver, which is here, bear with. So here, our torque screwdriver to go through and make sure everything is all tightened up to the correct torque settings, which inside here has got a label on it. It tells you exactly what torque settings they need to be and what actual fitting they need to be as well for what type of actually screw you're using. But yeah, so right, enough of that. Let's get all back on time lapse. We'll get all these earths bedded in, and yeah, let's try and get this job over the line today. So, as we can see, oh, there's been progress. Oh, beautiful. So, I don't know what to tell you. I got carried away and I forgot to film, but I'm going to run through everything with you anyway. So we thought we'd just try and neaten everything up, right? Now, I've got a load of testing to do, which is fine, but I'm trying to sort of make sure I get everything all in place. Now, let's have a little bit more of an in-depth dive into this board. So as you can see, I've got my old identification numbers to my new ones, which is really high tech. I know what you're thinking. Wow, you are the absolute electrician genius by doing that, I know. But you know, here we are. So I've just got rid of the all the meter tails as well. I've put them in a bit of trunking because it was a little bit of a mess on show, and I thought, right, do you know what, I'm going to put it in some trunking, neaten it all up. So this is actually the isolator switch for the doorbell transformer, which I know is a little bit silly because it's actually controlled via there, but we'll label that up. You know, it is what it is. So meter tail clamp is actually a brilliant actual setup because it really does lock the meter tails right in place, which is brilliant. Now, the flying leads for the RCBOs are massive, and the reason why they're massive is because they can reach all the way down here and go all the way along and then round into the top. Now, a lot of other manufacturers are more of your premium brands, as they're sold as. Get them to there, and you're having to like banjo string to get across to this far end, which is really stupid, considering you're paying for a premium brand. So yeah, they're really, really annoying. Now, like I said, we've got loads of spare ways on here now, so we've got loads of room for growth because there are future plans. For all we know, there might be a garden room or something going on in here. Who knows? So we've used the bootlace ferrules on the top here. So obviously once we've cut the ends of the flying leads, which yeah, I'll tell you how, I'll show you exactly how long they are. So that is what I've actually cut off. So that excess there, you see what I mean? So they all come like crimped, but we'll just put our own on because that way it's all nice and neat. So, oh, right, I'm going to show you inside the meter cupboard again. So I've not actually been able to get a hold of the client. Now, the problem is I don't know when this EV charger was installed. It may have been fairly recent, which I don't think it is. I think it was 2021. Like I say, recent. But I'm not getting paid to mess around with this at the minute. So what I've done is I've put my new tails in, my new flexi tails in. I've left them plenty long enough because my proposal to do it is to get rid of this, get rid of these connector boxes. I've put an MET in, which I've got to just put as part of my labelling up. I've got to put my Earth MET label in. I haven't labelled up the rest of the board, so it'll all be done at the same time. So get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, and rewire the actual EV charger because it's only literally from there. So it runs there and then goes along to there. So it's not far. It's not far at all. Let's be honest. It's like a micro run, isn't it? I mean, what's that? Less than 5 meters, isn't it? So, you know, I think this. That's what I would do if it was my house. Try and get everything right, which is what I think the client will end up doing when I can get a hold of him. So yeah, so I'd just also like to point out the real world side of actually all of this, because what I could have done is shown you, oh, it's all done, no mess whatsoever. Well, let's check this bad boy out. So we'll start out from outside. So we have remnants of meter tails across the drive. And then we lead through into all of the mess that is unfolding. So yes, I've got to tidy all this up. But yeah, I mean, this is real world. And the problem is that you get so bogged down into the perfection, which is, you know, social media, that you sometimes forget that, yeah, you're human and these things happen. So that is the reality of it all. So what's left to do, so what I like to do now is actually tidy up, have a little bit of square away, and then I can finish all my testing up and labelling up as the very last thing, as a little treat to myself, a little treat for the old labelling up. But yeah, so I know it's been a little bit of I fast forwarded quite a bit, but in fairness, it's needed to be done because the time is getting on, because I've already had to do a little bit more work prior to this video starting, in the sense of an extractor fan core out, which was not fun considering it was very, very, very dusty and very, very windy. But anyway, right, 2 seconds, I'll have a square up. So that is the testing all done. So there's a couple of little things that we need to, you know, a bit of further investigation. On my end-to-end readings for actually both the rings, now this house is a bit weird, they've kind of done left-hand side, right-hand side of the house. On my end-to-end on my earthing was just slightly high. It's still passed, but it's not, it's just slightly higher than what I'd like. But yeah, there's little bits like that. So also all the downlights in the kitchen, as the client's asked me, it keeps blowing bulbs, and that's because the actual connections themselves, where the lamps keep going in and out, they've basically worn out, and they all need sorting. But yeah, so all the testing's all done. We're all hunky-dory. So now's the time to get the board cover on and yeah, and get sorted. So one of the cables that was jammed in, I actually thought it was the garage circuit, but it's not. It actually turned out to be a single socket on its own, which powers up the microwave, and someone's just jammed it in there. It's hardly surprising because the board was rough as anything. So it's time to get this board cover on. It's close to the garage door mechanism, but a little bit of wiggling, we can make that work. Oh, seems a bit tight on the end. A little bit tight. There we go. And that is because the wall wasn't exactly completely flat on there. But yeah, so all in all, but you remember when I said at the start of the video, there is a really cool little magnet that they give you. It's all part of the kit, which is that. And all that does, it sits on top of the main switch like that. And you can just jam it in and it holds it up. It doesn't keep pinging down on you. Oh, brilliant. So just got to label that all up now and then another job completed. So that's it. That is the end of this consumer unit install, and hopefully that you've learned a few little things, or maybe there's a little bit where you thought, actually, I'd have done it like this, Mike. Absolutely fine. Leave it in your comments below. I really do. It's fine. I'll read them, and in fairness, if there's something I want to try out, then brilliant. Okay, I will do. So that's fantastic. I do really appreciate that. Okay, so that's it. That is me done. So the board, as you've seen, is all labelled up now. Really smart. So let me give you a little bit of a feedback from the actual board itself. So the board, the costing involved, it smashes most other brands out of the park, and the quality, I would say, exceeds most of them. So if you're looking at getting a really high quality board and not actually rinsing through all the cash, 100% go and get yourself a BG Fortress board. With all the improvements that they've got now, with all the DIN rail blanks, your cover for the actual buzz bar, the pressing, the way that you've got actually cable entry points on there, there's just nothing to not like about it. It doesn't feel flimsy. Yeah, it's just go, honestly, just go and try it. So if you've enjoyed this video, then make sure you've subscribed. If you haven't done that already, join this electrical community where we can pick the industry up, pass on our knowledge to hopefully don't end up with a board like when we first turned up for this, and let's try and get rid of all of that rubbish. Stay tuned for more videos, because there'll be more videos on potentially this house if I have to come back and sort out that EV. I'm still waiting on the client to let me know on what course of action they want. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.